Dun, 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 dun. Hello everybody, Psychotic here, and I thought it was about due time that I almost crashed my computer. No, don't get back here. No, that I do another Minecraft video, but this time go a little more extreme. You may all remember Cubic's Trunks. I did a video about it a couple months ago. I got 400 some views right now, I believe. And you know, that's pretty freaking well. I mean, I get comments every once in a while. But I thought I'd do something a little more interesting. I think you guys will be a little more into it, I believe. I just remember which way it is. Okay, right here. Okay, this is my spawn point, right over here. And you know, it's a nice little spawn area. You know, it looks normal, right? This is Cubic's Trunks, by the way. This is Cubic's Trunks. I'm not going to pull up F3 just yet, but you'll see here in a minute. Now, let's say this is like your regular survival. You're just hopping around. You just want to explore, and you immediately break blocks with your fist. Well, with stone in your hand, so that's something. And then you come over here and you look down, and you can't see the freaking bottom. Now, like any sane person, you jump straight off. Because, well, you're not in creative, and that was a sheep. And so you hit the ground, and you're like, wow, that was a pretty darn long fall. These are tall mountains. I wonder where I am. And then you decide, oh, I think I'll lag just a little bit more, because, you know, that's a lot of chunks. And so you decide to check your F3, and you see that you're 1,459 blocks above sea level. And you just go, what in the F? Where am I? Because that's just not natural, is it? Well, of course it isn't, because I tweaked around a lot of these settings, and isn't this beautiful? I do get a lot of lag spikes because there was a lot of settings I messed with. And stupid Minecraft, stop that. Stop that. Slap you on the hand. Stop it. Stop it. Well, you know, can you imagine? This is pretty much a freaking valley. Will you hold on one moment while I try to figure out what is wrong with Bandicam? I am terribly sorry about that. It's because it decided, you know, not to record skipped frames, and there's a lot of skipped frames right now. I did recently receive a new graphics card from a friend. That's why I'm getting freaking over 200 frames per second, but generally being a test version of Cubic's Trunks, lag spikes are associated with it. But then again, whose fault is it really that you can have this height? I mean, if you do remember, I did do a, what was it? It was amplified heights or something like that, where it did stuff like this. But where in the world would you get this kind of frame rate? I mean, I'm using a GTX 560 Ti. That's, you know, that's why I'm getting 300 frames a second. But that's not the problem. The thing is, it's my processor that's really doing the work here. And stupid Minecraft believes, you know, oh, you only need to use one thread through the 8 processors, but decides to run one thread through the entire processor, and that's what gives me these lag spikes. That is because it's loading just a crud ton of chunks. It's not video settings, it's this. This is what's hurting me. In fact, I like that on. Let's have that on. Max FPS, Advanced OpenGL. You want that on just because it only generates chunks that you can see. Or it only generates graphics that you can see. And so yeah, this is quite amazing. And look, here's even another drop off. If you thought I didn't fall far enough, well, you were mistaken, my friend. And associated lag spikes. Oh, but that's not all. Let's go even farther. While we wait for chunks to load, I'll talk about my personal. Recently get a new job. I work for Target, and I love it so far, and we're still falling. I swear, wow. And that's normal what you saw there. So, one problem with Cubic's Trunks is that if you fall too far, you don't see the very top of the chunks you just worked, for obvious reasons. We don't want to keep that in memory now, do we? My foot is very hard right now. There we go. There we go. I can move now. But we just fell. Let's see. Where did we hit here? We're at 1,000 still. We're nowhere near the bottom. Nowhere near. We fell 800 blocks. So that's something to gloat about. You don't see this very often in Cubic Chunks. And it's quite fantastic. I mean, you can Another reason why it's lagging so much is because I turned on cave generation. So you can see here as we go through this literal hole in the ground that's still generating upwards. You can see some of these caves, and I have please excuse the lag. It's a lot to generate, especially since this is a test version. And as you can see in the top left corner, this is beta 1.8.1. I tried getting it to work for 1.0, but that just was not a reality. It wasn't working for me. I have a lot of issues with it. So I foregone it whatsoever and just moved on and went right back to 1.8.1. And as you can see here, there's some crappy caves around here. Oh, okay, now it's less so. And these are like normal caves. Whoa, that scared me. These are like normal caves you would find in regular Minecraft. And you know, I'm getting decent frame rate. Look at that. Look at that. That's mostly my graphics card, and then the processor. My processor's taking a hit, and it's pretty powerful. I just fell through a hole. But you know, it's quite amazing. This is why this mod is so fantastic. There are, of course, lag issues. That's the one thing that really needs to be cleared up. Or, well, I guess it can't really be cleared up considering this mod is done with. Except if you look down in the description below, you will there is a link to dynamic heights. No, there won't be a link below for dynamic heights. There will be to this version of the Minecraft mod by Robinton. He was the original mod creator. He will, on his old forum page, he stopped at 1.0, so you will have nothing after that. And, jeez Louise. Let's, you know what, I want to see what it looks like. There we go. Have it load up. And you can go download his mods. His mods are still available for download. Your biggest issue is going to be setting up the mod. That's a little confusing at first. And if I get enough requests for people saying, hey, could you show me how to do it, I will certainly try my best to do so. But it took me hours to look at this pillar. Look at this pillar. And let me cut myself off here and just look at this pillar. This is natural, right? If you want a natural terrain formation, good luck. But it's just incredible, isn't it? But yeah, if you guys want a tutorial on how to set it up, I could take a bat at it for sure. I mean, and if you don't follow my instructions to the letter, well, that's your fault if it doesn't work. But I'll definitely still troubleshoot you. I kind of believe I like to know what I'm doing. Just look at that spire. That is the sickest spire ever. And I am so high up, there is fog on far distance. Now you see this over here? That's what that render distance does. It does it in a circular way. But here's the problem. In far render view, it generates more chunks. It generates more blocks than if you were on normal. If you're on normal, it generates less than if it was, you know, the regular generation. But you know, don't tell me you didn't like that fall back there. That was just beautiful. I don't understand why that's clean cut like so, but it is. But it's just amazing. Come on, you have to admit that you cannot get this otherwise. This is what do you see that frame rate up there? I don't know why I'm pointing because you can't see my finger pointing. But that frame rate is due because it's far render distance. That means there's way more blocks. The best part about it though is that my processor doesn't have to take as much work for it. But then again, I am at the same time recording. Recording takes a good 40% of your processor's power. The only thing that's a problem in this version of Cubic... I'm talking a lot, aren't I? I talk fast. But I'm trying to get as much information out to you guys as possible. Also down in the description below, hopefully if I remember, there will be a link to a... Look, another spire. No, not to another spire. But there will be a link to a forum post where they're working on petitioning of getting Cubic's chunks into vanilla Minecraft. And so that means this stuff you can naturally have in vanilla Minecraft. Don't tell me that's not awesome, because really it is. But you do want to understand, it's implementing Cubic's chunks, not the terrain generation with it. Let me look at this. Oh, we hit the ground. Nope, but we're not done. It'll implement Cubic's chunks, just the way it loads chunks is what's going to be implemented. You won't have this generation, but we're hoping later on there will be options for it. So for now, this, what I'm trying to show you is the benefits of the terrain generation. As you can see, you can have, if you look at the y-axis, the x, y, z over there on the left side, you can see that I'm over 1,000 blocks up from block 0. And block 0 is supposed to be, is supposed to be bedrock. And so that's 1,000 blocks. Come on. How could you not like that? Dynamic heights, I'm sure a lot of people will say, no, that did the exact same thing. It increased the height. This doesn't more than just increase the height. If you try to run, if you try to run dynamic heights on 2,048 blocks high, you will have so much lag it won't even load the world. It will just straight out crash. If your computer is powerful enough to run that, you'll be lucky enough to hit 100 frames a second, let alone 60. That's just how much it would impact it, because the reasoning behind it is that regular Minecraft, what it does is it generates chunks, which is, you know, a chunk of blocks, as it is, by 1616 by 256. That's normal Minecraft as of version 1.6.4. In Dynamic Heights, it generates chunks in 16 by 16 by whatever you define it as, such as 2048. That's a huge chunk, and that's why it's so hard to load it, and that's why it crashes so easily. In Cubic's chunks, the chunks are exactly 16 by 16 by 16. That's why it's so much easier to load the chunks. It doesn't hurt your computer as much, and obviously it still does, as you can see. Nothing's perfect because, might I say again, this is an older version. It's got a lot of bugs to it. Still working on it, but it's nothing's perfect. But as you can see, you can have this kind of height without all that lag associated with it. Because what it does is it generates, how Minecraft does it, it generates it in a long, like, your view distance, like render distance, goes out so far. Now, what that only applies to, it generates chunks out that far. So let's say it generates 10 chunks out. What's it gonna do? It's gonna load all the blocks in all those chunks. So you'd have the 16 by 16 by 256 blocks all the way out there as of Minecraft today, which is, you know, that's not a lot to load. But with Cubic's chunks, you can load all those blocks, but if there's air blocks, you don't load those blocks at all, but you can also load extra blocks. Now, as Minecraft is today, you can build as high as you want. And that's great. But what that does is it increases the chunk limit immediately. Now, is that a bad thing? No, because it still counts air blocks and decides not to load them, because Minecraft is obviously smarter that way. They did a very good job doing that. But in this mod, you can dig down as deep as you want. Minecraft doesn't let you do that. Could it? It probably could. That'd actually be a great idea. You can dig stuff under the bedrock. But that would be counterintuitive and not towards the game or something. People just make up so many excuses. But as you can see, there is no reason not to implement this. I could generate probably a normal world, and I will get about the same amount of lag. Actually, I'd probably get more because there won't be so many empty blocks. Hey, look, I can see the sun. Yay! That's another issue with Cubic's chunks. I have to say this because there's an issue with like everything that happens. And I'm going to lower my render distance just for that frame boost. Make it smoother. Okay. One of the issues with the Cubic's chunks is that I don't want to fall down just yet. Okay, I don't want to fall down just yet. Yeah. Now this is beautiful. I'm gonna take a snapshot. I'll just play like this and make it easier for everybody. Just go snap like that. I don't even know if I did it. Did I? Yes, I did. Okay. But, you know, the biggest issue with this is lighting. What if you have this what if I fly all the way up here and let's say there's like an enormous overhang. Just you didn't even know it was there. Just like you're like inside of a cave and you didn't even know it. That's the problem. It only loads chunks at a certain limit. So if I go above this, you'll start seeing some chunks start to unload. They don't just disappear from view, they literally unload. They are gone as of now. No. Now. Okay, see, you see how like they just disappeared. There are no chunks at all. I have a frame rate of 7, 6, 500, and I'm recording. Except when I turn that on, then my frame rate just, for some reason, drops. Then I turn it off and have like 60. Okay, but then if I drop, it has to start loading chunks again. These are chunks already loaded, so already loaded chunks are very easy to load because they're very small. They take no time at all. As you saw, I fell a good deal. Let's fall all the way down here. I'll fly back up. This is not as far down as I thought it would be. And then if I were to fly back up, which will take some time, if you be patient, you will notice that chunks load a little bit quicker than they did before. Then again, I'm flying up, so it's a little bit slower. But you'll see these chunks disappear. Actually, you know what? I don't even want to do that. It takes too long. It takes precious time to do so. But I gotta check one other thing. Yes, okay. Make sure you guys can see. But this is just absolutely stunning. Stunning. Now, if you say this is this is kind of boring. I don't like it. I suck. No, I'm kidding. But if this somehow does not appeal to you, that's fine. All a Cubic's chunks is for is allowing this kind of thing, but its main purpose is to get rid of the lag. Now, say for instance you still had like a normal Minecraft world where it still generated, you know, like the height limit still 256 and it still has bedrock. You put in Cubic's chunks in there, what you get is as you generate below, there's nothing that loads there. Nothing at all. It loads very quickly. Everything gets loaded much more quicker than it does if it were in the chunk mode it is now. And it's loaded into memory much quicker. Why? Because it's smaller. It doesn't take as long to pull it through. Now, let me go ahead and load some of these up. I'll take another snapshot because snapshots are just stunning. I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but because I can. Let's do this. I'm going to land on the ground. F1. That is 1, not F1. And we're going to snapshot it. Like so. Yes. Somehow I opened my inventory. Don't know how. But my frame rate's dropped again. That's because I'm far. I don't know why I keep switching back and forth. Should be just stuck there. See, look at that load. Look at that load. And that lag. There's always lag. But do note that there is a lot of chunks loading. There's a lot below me. There's a lot over there to the right. And a lot to the left. If this was a regular Minecraft world where this did not apply, you will have a lot better render time. But also note that there are caves generating as well. They all look like crap because they are. And there's holes in the wall. Some of it looks natural. Some of it isn't. But as you can see, you know, there's no reason not to have this. I mean, you want to have a legit, like this. Who does not want to have this kind of ravine? Look at this. Look at this. You're falling. You're falling. You're still falling because there's lag. And then you hit the ground and you're dead. And it makes sense because you just fell, I don't know, like, what, 800 blocks? That sounds about right. Look, there's a cow. We should just spawn a cow and drop him down. You know, let's do that. Sounds like fun. I feel like dropping cow. Stop, lag. What's that over there? It must be sun. See, look at that. Look at that. That's from the chunk generating. It has to. The water's like, okay, now I can load below. I can actually keep going. That's a legit waterfall. You know what, Cal? I'm gonna kick you off. This is your time. This is your time to die. Bye. Ah! Ah! Okay. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Excuse me, Mr. Cow. Wait, did he, like, survive? Oh, my goodness. Ah! That was not as far as I wanted. Got an idea. Let's fly back up here. Feel that chunk load. But I do like this right here. Is that the higher up you go, the more... Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful ambience? Just... Oh. Oh. No, keep going. I don't remember. Are there eggs? Don't know if this version supports such trivialities. Nope, nope. Too early in the beta versions. But yeah, as you can see, Minecraft is just with this mod is absolutely amazing. There is no reason why you shouldn't get this mod, or why it should not be implemented. Now, the main, like I've said before, the main purpose of this mod is to get rid of the lag. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is Minecraft Beta 1.8.1. As you remember, that version wasn't exactly very stable, and this mod was also very early in the works, also not very stable. So you combine the two, you get a little bit of, every once in a while you just get these magnificent lag spikes. Is that a good thing? No. No, of course it isn't. It never is. But the whole point of this is you can have... That's a perfect wall. And there was one of those lag spikes. Why is this so perfect? Ah, it's unnatural. Look at this cave here. Let's go exploring in the cave. Exploring, and lagging, and exploring, and going up. Let's just fly straight up. Maybe that's not such a hot idea. Let's go this way. I'm stuck. I've fallen and can't get up. Okay, we're just gonna fly straight up because that's always your best bet. You can never fail going straight up. Only problem is if we have to go up. Perfect. Didn't have to wait too long. But okay, tell me if any of you have seen my Minecraft Amplified videos. I built into the side of a mountain where I built my house kind of like on the edge. Now, from where I stand on my mountain, I'm about halfway through. That would be like right here from the top, and I'd like look up and be like, oh, look at those pretty mountains. But if I look down, I see the ground just as easily. And that's the seed, by the way. Seed is 1. You won't get the same results unless you change some config settings like I did. But imagine if I built it right here. And just like looked up and be like, so, where do I go? And it's like I just move, oh god! And I'll be waiting for like 30 seconds before I hit the ground. That's north, east, south, and west. Okay. Well, I thought it would be very important to throw this out here that Cubic's Trunks is still alive. I still enjoy the mod. I don't play Minecraft as often as I used to, but when you go ahead and mess around with a lot of the settings, you get some beautiful, beautiful areas. I mean, some of it looks absolutely like normal Minecraft, like this over here. As you can see, it looks absolutely normal. I mean, it's like you get to like these enormous potholes that shouldn't be there, period. But it's still amazing. I mean, I enjoy them. I mean, technically what you're on is on a freaking mountain. I do know that there is no water. I set the water level to -64. Not a great idea. I probably should have thought. I didn't know how this world generation would turn out, so that's kind of why it's set to that. But you know, you could still play on this. I mean, if you're playing like regular survival, you've already explored some areas. Hopefully you won't get magnificent lag spikes like such. But I mean, this is somewhat playable. I mean, some players play. I used to play on like 20 frames a second. Wow, sand really kills it, doesn't it? I used to play on 20 frames a second. But that was like on an old laptop. But still, it was something. It was something. But some of you will just be like, wow, this looks really cool. You could play on tiny and just be like, ow, how far am I gonna fall? Okay, not that far. And you can get, okay, some of you won't be getting that kind of frame rate, but nonetheless, you'll be able to get, you will still be able to play on this. Look at the, if I played this on my laptop, no doubt I would have a great frame increase. You know, it's kind of hard to compare at the moment. What I can tell you is, like, if you look, like you saw there, it gets like 500. 500 is the kind of the average. More like 540. But that's kind of the average, and you can see the lag bar down there. It's great. That's probably because I have an 8-core computer. Can't really compare the two very well. But you know, it's still a great thing to be able to know that you can venture around in here with little lag compared to what you used to. I mean, I know, I certainly would. I almost have to test it on my laptop now just to prove it right. And my laptop is not on. I better turn that on. But, yeah, this is the Cubix Chunks mod for Minecraft Beta 1.8.1. Like if you enjoyed. I mean, I certainly hope so. Like if you enjoyed the mod, period. Or even like if you get the mod, if you have the mod. Comment that you did something great with the mod. I had a comment where this guy had in his mod pack, and using Cubix Chunks, he made a computer in it. He literally made a computer with redstone. And that's all because of Cubix Chunks. I mean, well, not all because, but mainly because of that. Without Cubix Chunks, it probably would have been more difficult for him. But Cubix Chunks really helped him create his mod. Because it's the loading of chunks is so much easier. I mean, some of you may even know that, you know, in the Buildcraft mod, I believe it is, where there's, or is it the I don't remember what mod it is exactly, but you can place down a block that keeps a chunk loaded, no matter what. And so that allows, like, redstone to keep going and going. What would make this mod so much greater than what that would do is, say for instance, this mod, you have this small chunk of 16 by 16 by 16, and it just loads that small little bit for this redstone to go around. It's that big, it is that small that it can just load a small little area. It takes up less memory, less RAM, well, that's the same thing, less processing power. It's a great thing to have. I mean, you would love it. So, I gotta end the video. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was informative. I hope you go and get the mod. I hope you go to the forum post and express how much you like this mod and how much you would love to see this implemented in vanilla Minecraft. So, once again, this is Psychotic. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Adios. I just paused the game. I'm supposed to do